Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tanessa, the event coordinator for the FAU Libraries, and I would like to welcome you to this webinar, FAU Libraries Live, the Graduate Edition. Today, we are welcoming the faculty and staff of the FAU Libraries. They will introduce themselves along the way and share some of the resources that are available to help you succeed at FAU. We'll be taking questions at various points throughout the presentation, but please feel free to use the chat box at any time. At the end of the webinar, we'll be giving away some prizes, so we encourage you to stick around. Today's event is a partnership between the FAU Libraries and the FAU Graduate College. Before we get started, I would like to introduce the Dean of the Grad College, Robert Stackman, to say a few words.
Thank you, Christy. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'm really delighted that the FAU Libraries has set aside this time to highlight the myriad approaches that they and their dean have taken to transform the libraries to serve graduate students. And I think this is really important because I think the libraries in general are undergoing transformation, right? We need to think about them not just as repositories of collections, but actually now collaborating on discovery and knowledge creation. And I think that's very exciting. So even though the number of graduate students that pass through the doors of the FAU Libraries on our campuses is much smaller than that of the undergraduates, I would say it's really important that we recognize that graduate students are critical stakeholders for libraries. And graduate students need ready access to scholarly materials, and I would argue that they use those resources more intensely than undergraduates. And to some extent, libraries are judged on the quality of training they provide to future faculty, so thinking about our doctoral students, as well as the quality of those who graduate from master's programs. So it's clear to me that libraries are critical for the success of our graduate students. And what is exciting to me as well is that our libraries here are sensitive to the diversity of needs of our graduate community. Just think, the needs of a student in a graduate program, perhaps with respect to the libraries, changes over the phase of their graduate life cycle, if you will. So in the beginning, their needs might be very specific. In the end, as they approach degree completion, their needs may certainly have shifted. So this is an exciting opportunity for our graduate students to hear all that's available at the FAU Libraries. And so one piece of advice that I would share with our graduate students is probably a piece of advice that I should have gotten really early on. And it didn't really fall to me until I was working on my master's thesis at Rutgers University. So in my graduate program, my doctoral program, we had the opportunity to complete a master's on the way to getting our PhD. And so it was during that process of writing drafts of my master's thesis and passing them to my advisor passing them back. Each time I got this document back from my advisor, he said, you really got to think about the broader implications of your research, right? And so I was studying neuroscience of memory, and I was really focused on the nitty-gritty molecular mechanisms, and he kept saying, that's fine, but you got to think broader. What are the implications for public health? How do we think about this as influencing the problem of age-related memory? And he said, and so I must have responded with a series of blank stares, because in frustration, he said, I am telling you to go to the library. And so I did that. We had a Library of Science and Medicine on the campus that I was on, and I was so glad that I did. I was amazed that I hadn't quite thought of that. And so I walked into this library and met with the reference librarians, and they were remarkable in terms of their access to materials. They knew right away where to point for information, and I can tell you that I never stopped going to the libraries and never stopped recognizing the importance of them for my own work. And so I assume that we would all certainly benefit from more use of the libraries. So I'm going to stop there, and I look forward to the rest of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Stackman. I'd also like to share a quick video message from the interim dean of the libraries who cannot be with us live today.
Hello, my name is Amy Kornblau, and I am the interim dean of the FAU Libraries. I am so happy that you have decided to join this presentation today to learn more about the library's many services and resources. I especially want to welcome you back to campus and into the libraries for what I hope will be a very exciting, rewarding, and safe in-person fall experience. If you forget your mask, we will have one for you. Stay safe and go Owls.
With that, I'd like to turn it over to Crystal Morrow of the Information Technology Services team.
Thank you, Tanessa. Hi, everybody. My name is Crystal Morrow, and I am one of the computer application coordinators here at the library. I wanted to share with you some of the hardware, software, and technology resources that are available when you visit the library. Many of our patrons, we come to the library to use our computers. We have 4 computer labs spread across the 1st and 2nd floor. These are generally open floor workstations where groups of students can work together or you can work alone. We have both Macs and PCs in these areas. There is no reservation system. It's a first come, first served basis. Now, if you're looking for a more private and quiet area to study, as a graduate student, you can use what's called the 2nd floor Graduate Study Lounge. Access to this room is granted by swiping your OWL card through the reader at the entry to the lounge. If your OWL card doesn't work, you can email your name and your Z number to lycirc, C-I-R-C, at fau.edu with Grad Student Lounge access in the subject line. The lounge is available for use during all hours that the library is open and is considered quiet study. If you're headed to campus and want to see if a library computer is available, you can check online with our computer availability application. And the FAU Libraries is now offering 2 private meeting spaces for students if you're looking for a quiet place to conduct a virtual meeting. Our 2 conference suites are located on the 5th floor of the Wimberley Library, and they can be reserved by filling out the reservation form on the website. Lastly, if you have your own computers, your own laptops, we have space set up for those. You can plug in your device all around the 1st floor of the library. We have many software suites available for use. Most of you use Microsoft Office and web browsing. Lockdown browser is also available, and our computers all have webcams. So if you have exams or whatever, you can take those. For a full software list, you can visit the library's website or use the link shown here. We also have the full Adobe suite of applications. This is a subscription service. It has Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere. It is the entire CC suite. These are specifically installed to our Macintosh computers, which are spread out across the 1st floor and in 215. You'll see a label on the bottom of the machine that says Adobe CC. Our Macs also have Final Cut for video editing. If you need to scan documents, we have a few document scanners and book scanners throughout the library. These allow you to quickly digitize resource materials. You can then email it to yourself, or you can bring a flash drive and save the file directly on the flash drive for later use. If you need to print, we have print release stations all around the building, and you can print from our PCs and our Macs, or you can send a job directly to the print queue from fauprint.fau.edu. You can log in, upload your files, and then you just release the job for any of the print stations. We also have a credit refill station on the 1st floor. Lastly, those of us in the IT department, we love technology. We love seeing where it can go, what it can do. We do webinars on a variety of tech tips. We also have library loaner laptops, iPads, and webcams. In addition to the IT department here, obviously your own colleges have their own IT departments available, and there's also the OIT, the centralized IT department, and you can get 24-hour lab space from them. You can check out their website to find out more of what they offer. And of course, many of you may know, may not know that we have licenses and suites available to you for free as a university student. Office 365, you can download and install it to your personal devices. MATLAB, GitHub, Mathematica, these are all tools that are available. And with that, that's it. I'd like to pass this along to Ken Frankel from Instruction and Engagement.
Thank you. Next slide, please. Good afternoon, everyone. The Instruction and Engagement Services Department provides library users with assistance and instruction in navigating the many collections and resources that the library has to offer. We do this through working with teaching faculty to provide library instructional sessions for courses, creating online tutorials and workshops, staffing online service points where you can ask us questions and we can help you locate the information that you need, and by offering consultations by appointment for more in-depth research assistance. Librarians in our department also act as liaisons to academic departments and work with faculty members to evaluate and select resources for our collection. Just to give a very brief introduction on where to access research resources through the library's website, which is library.fau.edu, there's a large blue box in the center of the library's homepage, and this provides tabs to search for various types of resources. If you're a returning student at FAU, you may have noticed that the OneSearch and Library Catalog have a new interface that was adopted by the entire Florida State College and University system. But some of the features you'd see on our webpage include OneSearch, which is a massive database that combines the majority, but not all of the databases that our library subscribes to, and allows you to search them at one time. For graduate students, this can be useful for interdisciplinary research, or if you're not finding your topic in a subject-specific database. The library catalog searches for materials including books, ebooks, DVDs, streaming video, government information, and many of the special collections. It does not, however, include individual journal articles. There's also a journals tab on the library's website, and this allows you to look up a specific journal title to see which database is included in full text and what years are covered in each database. The databases tab provides collections of scholarly articles and other resources, which can be both subject-specific and interdisciplinary. Of special interest to graduate students are the ProQuest dissertations and theses global, which includes the full text of most of the master's theses and doctoral dissertations completed in the United States and many from other countries. And another one is the Web of Science, which sounds like a science database, but actually includes social sciences and arts and humanities. And this database allows you to search for a topic and sort the results by the number of times that the articles have been cited, which gives an indication of which articles are the most influential in a particular area. Below the search box on the website, there's a link to research guides, and this will take you to librarian curated subject and class guides that will assist you in selecting the best databases and other library resources for research in a particular discipline. The library's YouTube page has a variety of short tutorials and longer recorded workshops on library-related topics. Besides the changes to the library catalog and OneSearch interfaces that I mentioned a few minutes ago, the library has also recently transitioned to a new login system called Open Athens. So instead of going to a link to log in before beginning research, if you're working from the library's website, the first time you click on a licensed resource, such as a online journal, database, etc., during a session, you'll be prompted to log in with your FAUNet ID and password. And this happens whether you're working from home or on campus. You won't have to log in again during that session as long as you don't close your browser. The Open Athens also allows you to log into resources that we have access to through Google Scholar or publishers' websites. In that case, you won't be prompted to log into those, but you should look for an institutional sign-in and choose Florida Atlantic University as your institution and Open Athens as your federation. Then you'll be prompted to log in with your FAUNet ID and password. Finally, there are a number of different ways you can contact us for assistance. Most every page of the library's website has a red Ask a Librarian tab on the right side, which can be clicked on to chat with the librarian or to email us. You can also make an appointment to meet one-on-one with a librarian on Zoom or WebEx or by telephone for a research consultation. We love meeting with graduate students. And next, I'd like to introduce Alethea Perez, who will be speaking with you about the library's many unique special collections.
Thanks, Ken. Hi, everybody. My name is Alethea Perez. I am the manager of the Recorded Sound Archives within of FAU Libraries Special Collections. And I just want to tell you a little bit more about Special Collections and what we have to offer. So starting out with Special Collections Main, just to let you guys know, there's 3 different units within inside of Special Collections. So starting with Special Collections Main, this has a lot of one-of-a-kind collections, such as University Archives that chronicles the history of FAU, the Weiner's Spirit of America collection, which is very strong in American Revolution, and over 180 individual collections from the 18th century to modern, along with antique maps, rare books, manuscripts, newspapers, and more. You can see the link right down below, and you can visit that. Next slide, please. So next up is the Recorded Sound Archives. Pretty much within the Recorded Sound Archives, we provide digital access to 3 music collections. Those are we have a Judaica collection, a jazz collection, and a vintage collection. These are recordings from the early 1900s to give or take present day, depending on the collection that we're dealing with. But you as FAU students have access to these recordings. All you have to do is visit the URL right there down below, rsa.fau.edu. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the words research station. And upon clicking that, you'll be prompted to log in with your FAU username and password. What that does is it allows you to listen to a lot of recordings that are still within copyright. And that's a little something for you guys that are a part of FAU. So next up is the Jaffe Center for Book Arts. So the Jaffe Center for Book Arts consists of artist books. They do paper engineering, they have broadsides, they have scrolls, and a ton more. They have over 10,000 items within the JCBA gallery. They also host a lot of workshops and classes in the letterpress studio and bindery and paper lab. Currently, they're hosting a lot of virtual events. They did Makers Marketplace. They usually do a Real Mail Friday every month, and then they also do Book Arts 101. If you want to learn more about JCBA events, definitely check out that URL down below. Next slide, please. And just to let you guys know, if you guys want to contact us or you got any questions or you'd like more information, just feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help, and there's a wide variety of projects for us, a wide variety of original projects for you to work on. You feel free to email us, or you can visit the URL down below. And I would like to pass it on to Renetta Johnson of Access Services.
Thank you, Alethea. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to present to you what we do at the library. As you can see with the first slide, one of the most important things you need in coming to the library is your OWL card. Your OWL card will give you the opportunity to get in the building, get out of the building. As grad students, you'll need it to swipe to get into the grad lounge, and also gives you the opportunity to check out the various materials that we have available for you. Next slide, please. Our hours of operation are as listed. They have changed since we are now back really full-fledged. Monday through Thursday. Okay. Thank you. Monday through Thursday from 7:40 a.m. to midnight. That's my my shift. Friday, 7:40 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, noon to midnight. Next slide, please. If you are searching for particular materials, as Ken mentioned, this is where you can go if you're looking for any particular book that you need, whether it's for pleasure reading or whether it's for class, you would go to this website. One of the things that we also offer are course reserve materials that the professor puts on reserve for you as a student to come and pick up. Next slide, please. All right, one of my favorite slides. Some little interesting tidbits about the library. Students, staff, and faculty can check out, FAU students, staff, and faculty, excuse me, can check out up to 500 books. We have a 24-hour, 7 days a week study center that's located on the Breezeway. It's on the other side of Chick-fil-A. We have something that we call a diversity burrow, which gives you the opportunity to check out current and recent materials, books in particular, some DVDs. And also, as mentioned, we have a grad study lounge for graduate, medical, and honor students, and it is swipe access only. Next slide, please. Who we are at Access Services is the group of people that provides plethora of services to anyone coming into the building. We do allow guests in because we have the repository and some other information. So I consider us also as gatekeepers of the library. And one of our many functions is checking in and out of materials. Some of the items that we do have available are, of course, for checkout laptops. We have books, DVDs, study rooms, tablets, whiteboards, and markers, and calculators, just to name a few. And we also serve in a partnership role for the different departments in the building. We provide assistance for people coming in. If they want to look up articles or anything, we provide assistance for that. We help with study rooms. We help with a different variety of things. Next slide, please. All right. We are here to provide you with services to ensure that your time here at FAU is productive and meaningful as you march forward into your future. So we ensure that the collection is well maintained, organized, and available to the user in the stacks. We provide a valuable service to those who come through our doors. And while the library is the backbone to any academic institution, it's the Access Services Department that it's its heart and soul. I'm very proud of that. Next slide, please. Now I'd like to introduce Brian Wirt from Government Information and Maps.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about the Government Information and Maps Department. FAU Library is part of the Federal Depository Library Program, or FDLP. This program includes over 1,100 libraries nationwide, including 28 in Florida. We are the only FDLP library serving the Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast area. So why is that important? It means we're able to provide you access to valuable resources, both print and online, that you can use in your research. If you consider all the departments, agencies, bureaus in the United States government, as well as the activities of Congress, all of them produce publications. In fact, Uncle Sam is the world's largest publisher. As a result, we have a large number of resources covering a wide variety of subjects. These resources are usually available in print, but increasingly also in digital formats, including full-text ebooks, online research publications, and digitized maps. We're also a member of the State of Florida Publications Depository Program, so we have many resources about Florida if your research or teaching is focused on the state. In addition, we have specialized resources for in-depth research in many disciplines. One example is Foreign Relations of the United States, which is a multi-volume series featuring the inside story of American foreign policies as reported by members of the State Department at that time. The War of the Rebellion is another multi-volume series containing the official records from the Union and Confederate armies during the Civil War. We also have specialized statistical resources for those doing research in education, health, criminology, finance, and economics. Our department also manages the GIS Corner, which is the library's Geoinformation Systems Lab. The lab provides access to the latest GIS software to all students, faculty, and staff. You don't have to be enrolled into a GIS course to be able to use it. Many people in various disciplines such as anthropology, public administration, biology, criminology, nursing, and business are now using GIS in their projects and research. The GIS lab is available all hours. The library is open and an appointment is not necessary, although first come, first served is for our limited stations. The lab has new computers and the latest versions of ArcMap and ArcPro. We are also able to help find opportunities to train and expand your knowledge and skills in GIS. And if you keep an eye on our website, we'll also be posting, we have student assistants who will be available to assist in the near future with projects. They are very helpful. The library also has a huge map collection that includes over 38,000 physical maps. Yes, 38,000. Faculty and students utilize maps in their research, but they can also be very useful in presentations, and almost all of our maps are available to be checked out. So what kind of maps do we have? Political, topographic, cultural, and historic, as well as a large number of science-themed maps. Today, many people use digital maps, and we can help you find those too. So if you have any questions about government information and maps and our resources, or need assistance in finding a resource for research, contact us at the email address or phone number above. So now we're going to pause, and Tanessa will take any questions you're going to have at this point.
Hey, Tanessa, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you. We're pausing for a moment to give everyone an opportunity to send us any questions you might have so far. We're about halfway through the presentation, so if you don't have any questions right now, that's okay. We'll take questions again at the end of the presentation. I have seen quite a few come in, so I'm going to address those really quick. The first one that came in was, they told me that they had to leave early. That's okay if that happens to you as well. We're going to send out a link after the presentation that has the recording of this webinar. The next question was about interlibrary loan. That's actually coming up really soon, so I'm not going to answer that question yet because I think they're going to cover it. And the next question was, are course syllabus available in any library databases or collections? Could someone help out with that question?
They are not listed in any library database. Probably the best thing if you wanted to see one would be to contact the instructor who's teaching the course or taught it in the past.
Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
And for Renetta, do you allow visitors to come with students to the library? And are the visitors limited to areas that they can accompany them to, like the grad study area? Would visitors be allowed to come with a graduate student?
Visitors are not allowed in the grad study lounge. Visitors, which we consider guests, they are welcome to use any parts of the library except for the grad lounge. You have to be grad student, medical student, or honor student to use the grad lounge.
Thanks, Renetta. And then there's a few questions about OWL cards. Renetta, I don't know if you know the answer to these. I think that they're probably better suited for the OWL card office, which is their contact information is in this presentation as well if you need to refer back to it. But the question is, can students get the OWL card at the Davie campus? And there are grad students who have not received their OWL cards yet.
Yeah, those are best answered by the OWL Card Center.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
So I'm gonna keep going. If I see a few more questions rolling in, but we have another Q&A break at the end of this, so I will get to those. Thank you all for your questions so far. And for now, I'm going to pass it over to Sung-Hae from the Digital Library.
Thank you, Tanessa. I'm Sung-Hae Res. Welcome to the Digital Library, home of our digital collections in the FAU Institutional Repository. Next slide. Please visit our online digital collections that are created from library-owned special collections and archival materials. You can also access educational and scholarly works by FAU students, researchers, and faculty. These are housed in the repository. Discover digital versions of 18th century New England almanacs, part of our most recent Spirit of America digital collection. This collection includes over 600 digitized American speeches and foreign language pamphlets from as early as the 1670s. You can explore digitized archival photographs of FAU campus and see how the university has grown and changed over time. Check out thousands of images from FAU athletics to dorm life. We offer a wide array of content to discover. And many of our images can be downloaded and reused. Browse student and faculty research deposited in the repository. Find articles and patents produced by FAU faculty, Doctor of Nursing practice capstones, these are known as DNPs, from the School of Nursing, and conference proceedings and posters, all contributed to the repository. Our repository also hosts our graduate electronic thesis and dissertations collection, with more than 7,000 ETDs created at FAU since 1967. That's a lot of original research to explore. So if you're a graduate student required to complete a thesis or dissertation, then you will be submitting your ETD to the FAU Research Repository. Some benefits of depositing your ETD into the digital library repository include a wide dissemination of your work and a permanent URL so that you can share and link your ETD in your resume, grant applications, and social media. The repository also offers download counts and usage statistics for your ETD. If you have any questions or need any help, please contact us at digital@fau.edu. And now I would like to introduce Christy Padron from Scholarly Communications. Christy?
Thank you, Sung-Hae. Next slide, please. I'm Christy Padron, the librarian for Scholarly Communication Services. Since you are in a graduate program, you will learn more about your disciplines and will apply it by doing research or creating works. Let me define what scholarly communication is for you. It is the ways that research and other types of scholarly works are created, evaluated for quality, distributed, and preserved for future use. The libraries have a part to play in educating the FAU campuses and you in your particular point of your studies about scholarly communications. To briefly describe the forms of scholarly communications you may encounter, you've probably read journal articles, books, and also book chapters, but there's also other forms of scholarly communication such as poster presentations, conference papers, preprints, and data. We want to introduce you to these concepts so you can successfully get your scholarly and creative works out there and fully participate in any scholarly or creative professional communications of your work. Next, I'll introduce the topics that Scholarly Communication Services covers. We cover 6 broad topics. Copyright is one of our main ones where we will discuss the basics of copyright. I will, at the end of my part of the presentation, talk about 2 upcoming webinars about that. We also discuss fair use, which is an important part of using protected works for scholarly or educational purposes. And we'll also talk about author agreements, that is, how you could negotiate your rights over your published work. We also talk about open access, which is a model of publication that allows books and articles and other types of published works to be communicated openly and freely. Open Access Week will be October, and we'll be having a webinar about that, about deceptive publishers. Then we also discuss bibliometrics such as journal impact and the site score. And other topics that we cover include scholarly publishing, researcher profile and administration management. That is, we can advise you about how to set up a Google Scholar profile, ORCID ID, and things like that. And then we also inform the campus community on funder public and open access mandates. Next slide, please. Our services are delivered through consultations and presentations. Consultations can be done by the phone, by email, and we could also do them face-to-face and online through platforms like Zoom, Teams, and WebEx. We also provide presentations the same way. We can present to your classes, your groups, and also your events. Last year, I presented to a undergraduate pre-medical student club on campus who wanted to know more in order to prepare themselves to apply for graduate studies. Okay, next slide. We also provide some education and tutorials. If you want to do something self-paced or on your own, we do have library guides that you could see at the URL, where you could see more information about the topics and recommended information sources so that you could learn more about these topics on your own. We also provide links to information from very reputable sources like the US Copyright Office and others that can help you and inform you on ways these may apply to your studies. We also provide a lot of recorded webinars available through the library's YouTube page. Ken had mentioned the tutorials that are short from longer and more detailed, and all of these can be found on the YouTube page. These services are available to all FAU campuses, including Jupiter, Davie, Harbor Branch, and also Broward. So just to give you a heads up for a couple events that we'll be having, on October 11 and October 13, we will have 2 copyright webinars. The first one goes into the basics that introduces you to what copyright allows you to do and how it protects your work. The second one that will be on October 13 will be on debunking some copyright myths and replacing them with facts. And we will also introduce the concept of fair use. Open Access Week is soon after that, and I will discuss predatory and deceptive publishers and how you can minimize your chances of getting published by them or even reusing their work in your research. Okay, next slide. If you have any questions about our services, or you wish to have a consultation or have us present for your group or your class, you could email scholarlycom with 2 M's at fau.edu. You could also get more information about our services on our webpage, and then you could also directly request it through there. Next, we'll be presenting Garrett Good with Interlibrary Loan, who will discuss more of their services. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Garrett Good, and I'm a member of the Interlibrary Loan Department here at FAU. So what is Interlibrary Loan, and how does it pertain to being a graduate student, right? If you don't already know, Interlibrary Loan, we like to refer to it as the collection we don't own. Here at FAU, our library can only be so big. We can only have so many resources, you know? So what Interlibrary Loan allows us to do is borrow those resources that we don't own from other libraries, either within the state or within the country, worldwide even. And you can submit interlibrary loan requests for anything that another library would have, whether it be books, CDs, DVDs, you know, like I said, anything that another library would have physically, you can put an interlibrary loan request in for it, and we'll see if we can get it from you. And if you only need, say, a specific article or a specific book chapter for research or a paper or even a thesis, you can submit what we call an article request, which is a request for an electronic scan of that one specific section or book chapter. And that'll be delivered as a PDF right to your account. No need to wait for it to get here physically. This map is actually, there's a little red flag for every library we've borrowed or lent to over the years, and mainly in Florida, mainly in the United States, but we do get a couple, you know, international libraries. And we do actually we lent an article to McMurdo Station down in Antarctica. So we can officially say that we have touched all 7 continents. We are actually also a member of OCLC Express. Now, OCLC is the sort of network that connects all the different libraries, and being part of Express means that we are actually in the top 10% of all borrowers and lenders. So that allows us to access that list and get you your requested materials really fast, really reliable, and really sort of like expansive. Like the Library of Congress and like Harvard and Yale, those are the Library Express types. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at lyIll@fau.edu. That's sort of our general email. You can pass that at any time. As for the questions of earlier, you can access Interlibrary Loan either by navigating to the departments page on our library website, or there's actually a button called Borrow from Anywhere on our library homepage. You can click on that, it'll bring you to our page as well. Now, I'd like to introduce my coworker Linda to introduce our wonderful branch campuses.
Thanks, Garrett. Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Lesperance, and I'm a staff member at the FAU Jupiter Library. I would like to welcome welcome all of you. The Jupiter Campus Library has a number of useful online and print resources available to you that will help you with your studies and research throughout your academic careers. You can access our library's homepage by typing in the address that you see at the top of the slide. In the Jupiter Spotlight box, visit our Lib2Go page for an overview of the many resources and services available to you. The library is currently open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. One must have an active OWL card to swipe in to access the facility. You can go online to the OWL Card Services site and fill out an electronic form to request a card. The OWL card also serves as your library card and will enable you to connect from off campus through Open Athens. The pandemic forced us to review the services that we provide and to find ways to more conveniently meet your academic needs. For example, we installed 18 lockers in our 24/7 study area where you can safely pick up books at your convenience. This service allows for safe, contactless checkout of print materials. We have a simple online form that you can fill out to request a print item from our collection. This form can be found on our library's homepage under the section that says Jupiter Spotlight. Staff members will pull the item for you, check it out to you using your Z number, and will then send you an email with the locker number and code so you can access the contents of the locker. We have increased our collection of ebooks and access to streaming videos for your studies and coursework. If you have individual requests for your classes, please reach out to our librarian and she will work with our collections manager to obtain these resources for you. Next slide, please. Okay. Just adjacent to the 24/7 study area is a 24-hour computer lab with approximately 13 computers with webcams for use, as well as a printer. Inside the library, we have 7 public PCs and 1 Mac available, all with webcams, printers, photocopiers, and book scanners. Our librarian, Leah Pocharczyk, is available upon request via her virtual office hours, where you can meet with her one-on-one for reference help. I have included her contact information here should you want to reach out to her. She is also available for virtual research consultations should you need assistance with an assignment. Thank you for joining us and best of luck this semester. Hi again, everyone. I am also presenting information on behalf of the HBOI Library. The Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute of FAU, also known as HBOI, is located north of Jupiter in Fort Pierce. HBOI is primarily a research institute recognized for its world-renowned research in the marine sciences. Other subject areas that the collection covers include nursing, biology, and the environmental sciences. HBOI is a self-service facility and is accessible by using one's OWL card. The current hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. In addition to a number of print and online resources, the HBOI Library has laptops available for checkout and an interactive instruction lab. If you need reference assistance or have questions, please use the Ask a Librarian link that is featured in the slide. And again, thank you and best of luck this semester.
We're going to answer any questions you have in just a moment. So if there are any more, now is your opportunity to submit those in the chat box. While I give you a moment to do so, I want to remind you that we'll be sending an evaluation survey after the webinar ends. We'd love to hear your feedback on today's presentation. I'll also put the link in the chat box, or you can use your smartphone to scan the QR code that you see on your screen. And as a thank you to all of you for sticking with us through the presentation, I would like to welcome Sarah to announce today's winners.
Thank you. And I just want to thank you guys all for joining us today. I've been reading the questions in the chat box and they're really great. And I don't want to take up much more of your time. So our winners are going to be Roxana A and Timothy C. And Tanessa will be reaching out to you via your emails so you can pick up your prizes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sarah, and congratulations to our winners. If you're curious what the prizes are, it's actually a little drawstring backpack filled with new swag that we just got this semester. So congratulations. All right, and now for the questions. Give me just a moment. I'm just going to scroll back up. There's been a lot of really great questions, and thank you to the team. I've seen you answering a lot of those questions in the chat box. There were a few more questions about OWL cards. I'll put the OWL cards office contact information in the chat box so that you all can follow up with them. We don't actually handle the creation of the OWL cards, so unfortunately I can't give in-depth information about that. So one of the questions is, do we have access to the library resources if we're not taking classes? For example, they have active enrollment status, but they're not taking classes in the summer term.
Would that be for me?
Yes, Renetta, thank you.
All right. Would they have access to the resources? Yes, they would. They would.
Thank you.
Sure.
And then the next question for, I believe, Sunghae, you could help with this. How do we access the ETD's archives? Is the link posted on the FAU webpage, or is it a special link? Like, can they find it through the library's website, or do they need some other link?
I think that Ken already answered the question, but I will go ahead and put the information again in the chat.
Thank you so much, just in case anybody missed it.
Okay, thank you.
There's quite a few questions for ILL. One of them is, should I use ILL to get things from the Boca campus to Jupiter or HBOI?
That's actually a good question. Yes. So you would essentially submit an interlibrary loan request like you would for a regular interlibrary loan, but our system will automatically flag that we own that book, double check it against your preferred pickup location, and then automatically route it if it's at a different campus.
And then Garrett, before you log off, there's another question. For the specific article or book chapter PDF ILL delivered via email, do we request it via borrow from anywhere button or via the ILL email address?
So the borrow from anywhere button will take you to our webpage, and on that webpage, it'll allow you to either log in or create your interlibrary loan account if you don't already have one. And so for the articles, after you log into that account, you would submit an article request, which is in opposition to a loan request, which would be for the physical item. So you would go through the borrow from anywhere button. Our office email is for any questions or problems you may run into.
Thank you so much, Garrett. I think that's all of the questions that I see so far. If I missed anyone's question, I'm so sorry, but please feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat box so that you can send me any question that I might have missed. Our chat box today is very active. I see a question about grad student lounge access, but I don't know what the question is. But please reach out to me after the webinar. I'd be happy to look into any question that you might have. I want to thank you again for joining us, and a special thank you to the team for putting together this presentation. You'll receive an email from us with the link to the brief evaluation survey that we hope you will fill out to help us plan future presentations. The email will also include the links to the presentation slides and this recording if you need to refer back to some of the resources discussed today. To stay up to date on our upcoming events, follow us on all social media channels at FAU Libraries. And most importantly, please don't hesitate to reach out to us should you need any help this semester. Thank you.